There we go. Hello, and welcome to Cheers. That's one woman's opinion. I am your host, Carolyn Mills. Um, this is probably the latest I've recorded a podcast for a Thursday podcast release. It is currently 7:22 p.m. on Thursday. It's been a very long day. Um, yeah. So I have been harassed by someone in the building, and that same person has attacked somebody else. They had to go to the hospital. So it's been kind of stressful. I'm hoping to be able to move soon. My goal is November. Um, I had to email Section 8 to get it, to find out how I can get permission to leave early, waiting to hear back from them. So that's been going on. And then I also went to the headache center. I told you guys about having the migraines. Um, so I went there and had to do that. And then I don't have a car yet. I'm working on getting that. So I have to use the Medicab's transportation. Well, the hospitals have more than one doors, and they went to the wrong door. And they called. Well, duh, I can't hear on the phone because I'm deaf. So I called them my VRS, no answer. Called again, no answer. I texted them, no reply. So I had to go back into the doctor's office and ask the nice people there to please call and help me get a ride. Well, for 2 hours, these people fought to get these people to pick me. The people at the hospital fought to get the other people to come back and pick me up, and explaining that I'm deaf, can't hear the phone, etc. Um, and yeah, it was just a very stressful day. But here I am, and we will be looking at. Ow, that hurt. We will be still healing. We'll be looking at Cheers Season 3, Episode 19, Behind Every Great Man. And I have some exciting news at the end. If you happen to have been on Twitter or Instagram, I think they're the only two I posted on so far. You probably already got that. Oh, and Reddit. I think I posted it on there too. You may have already seen the news. But let's go ahead and get started. So yeah, Cheers Season 3, Episode 19, Behind Every Great Man. It first aired February 21st, 1985, a few days before my fifth birthday. This episode was directed by James Burrows. It was written by Ken Levine and David Isaacs. Guest cast Alison LaPlaca as Paula Nelson. I tried to get her for an interview, but she doesn't do interviews. I think she's fully retired now, from what I read. Al Rosen as Al. He passed away in 1990 from cancer. Larry Harpel as Larry. He passed away in 2007, undisclosed cause. Cheers is filmed in front of a live studio audience, was recorded by Rhea Perlman. In our summary, the cold open, Norm orders a beer. Sam announces that the keg is dry. The guys hum taps. If you're not familiar with taps, that is the funeral march. At military funerals, they play it. So the guys hum taps as they walk over with Sam to get a new keg. Larry says, "Long live the keg." They raise their beer mugs, forming an arch. As Sam walks through, they start humming "Hail to the Chief." Norm starts to cry. He tells Cliff, "I swore it wouldn't get to me this time." Where everybody knows your name plays. Sam comes from the office and says he got a letter from Coach, who was at a family reunion. So, again, these last two episodes, you will see Coach again at some point because the episode was made before he passed away. But they had to cover why Coach, who, as you may remember, announced in season 1 that he never takes a day off. So it's kind of strange that suddenly he's never around. So something had to come up that made him go, Um, I don't remember the orders. I don't know if we did the driving yet. Um, so these are why we have to keep coming up with these reasons. Is because Nicholas Colasanto passed away after last week's episode when it originally aired. He passed away on February 12th, 1985. Um, it's actually the same day my father passed away, but my dad passed away in 2008. And that's also happens to be Abraham Lincoln's birthday. All right, so where were we? Oh, yeah. So Sam comes from the office and says he got a letter from Coach, who was at a family reunion. Cliff asks why everyone in the picture except for Coach is black. Sam explains that he got sent an invitation by mistake, but didn't want to hurt their feelings by not showing up. And Coach has now been going for the past 6 or 7 years. Sam reads the letter, and Coach has signed to Uncle Whitey. That's kind of a cute little thing there. Norm comes in, having come from the Hungry Heifer. Paula Nelson comes in. Cliff tells Norm, hot babe at 12 o'clock. I think it's the next notch on the Clavin bedpost. Carla tells him, the only notch on your bedpost is from banging your head in frustration. Paula says hi to Norm and Cliff, and Cliff starts babbling. Um, Cliff, if you're not familiar, Cliff is not good with women at all, and he tends to do weird things around them. So he's literally like babbling. She thinks that he doesn't speak English. She says, "Can I?" She says, "No, can I buy you and your foreign friend a drink?" Paul explains that she is from the Boston Teen magazine. I looked this up, and apparently this is not a real magazine. I figured it probably wouldn't be, but I wasn't sure. Not being from Boston and all. She came to get information about the single scene. Carla tells Cliff and Norm to beat it. She tells Paula to talk to Sam, who can tell her every pickup line and make her breakfast in the morning. Sam comes out and sees Paula. He says, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? She figures out he is Sam, of whom Carla spoke. He relentlessly hits on her until she ends the interview. Cliff and Norm encourage him not to give up. Sam says he was not hitting on her, just giving her examples of what guys say. Sam invites her to Melville's for dinner to discuss the single scene. Cliff and Norm cheer for Sam. Then they yell, we're number one. The next day, Sam is trying to learn about Impressionist painters. Sam explains Paul likes French Impressionism painters, so he needs something smart to say. Carla tells him to give up on Paula. During this scene, you can see Diane in the back, and she actually is looking quite pregnant at this point. Because Shelley Long and Rhea Perlman were pregnant at the same time, but they didn't want Diane to be pregnant on screen, because that wouldn't be her type of character. Yeah, also by skin. Sam says if he uses Dianisms, he will be fine with Paula. He tells to Carla that it's kind of fun or ironic. I forget the word he uses because I actually write it down. But he says it's kind of fun the fact that he's using Diane's mind to get another woman's body. I think it might have been ironic. Diane comes to the bar and answers Sam about his previous question on Suzanne. Diane says that Sam's newfound love of the arts should be praised. And I hope I pronounced Suzanne right. That's how it looks. I've never heard the thing pronounced, and because I can't hear anymore, I won't hear it. Fraser comes in and says he is going to the fetish seminar. Diane is angry with him because he's going to another seminar. Sam comes out to ask another question about art. So Diane's angry about this seminar thing. I'm assuming it's not in Boston and he's going away, otherwise he'd just be home later. Who cares? It's work. Why can't she go with him? A lot of couples, a lot of when people have to do jobs like that where they have to go to seminars, or whatever, they take their spouse, or whoever they're with. So I don't understand why can't she go with him? Maybe she had to work. I don't know. Um, and then again, kind of sort of out of place for. It's weird the out of place with Diane thing because it seems out of place for Diane. You think, okay, she knows he has to work. She's smart. She would get that. But and I think people don't get it. Like when Rebecca Howe joins later, after Shelley leaves and Kirsty comes on, we see the neuroticness. She's very clearly a neurotic. But Diane is also a neurotic. And I think we see that here again. She's more subtle about it. She doesn't like break down hysterically crying when the door doesn't open. Actually, I don't think she cried in that scene. She just freaked out a little. Oh, I know that area. Frasier thinks Sam is only studying art to win Diane back. Diane tells him that he sounds like a broken record, which is a great line because Frasier says, "Are you telling me that I'm redundant, that I repeat myself, that I say the same thing over and over?" Great line. Sam comes out again with another question. He asks if this Reuben guy is the guy who invented the sandwich. He goes back to his office. Frasier tells Diane that Sam will be a curator in no time. Diane says she hates Frasier's attitude. Frasier calls her pretentious and writes the number where he can be reached when she's ready to talk sensibly. Angrily, Diane crumbles it and tosses it behind her. Frasier replies, "You'll rue the day you did that." Frasier leaves as Diane bends down to pick up the paper. Sam comes out and Carla tells him, "Would you give up on that egghead?" Diane overhears the conversation and concludes, "He wants me." Later that evening, Diane tells Sam if he needs any more help with his interest in the arts to let her know. Norm and Cliff come in. They were at the Hungry Heifer. Norm says, "Good afternoon, everybody." They yell, "Norm!" Cliff says, "Good afternoon, everybody," and doesn't get a response at all. Such a great bit right there. Norm tells Cliff that the Hungry Heifer serves beef, not beef. He also said that he had the loobster, not lobster. That's why the prices are so cheap. It's not real. Sam reserves a room for tomorrow night. He reserves the room that he stayed in when Diane sang, "I hope to create the same magic." He leaves his office as Diane comes from the back, in the office having overheard everything. Carla asks Sam who will tend bar while he's away. Sam says that she can do it, but Carla won't do it because she gets her best tips as a waitress during her third trimester. He suggests that Diane can do it, but Carla disagrees. She says that when Diane did it last time, she hated it. Then Carla leaves. Diane comes from the back. She asks Sam if there's something he wants to talk about. Sam says there is. He tells her that she's been acting strange today. She explains that she had something on her mind. Sam has a hard time asking her to tend bar while he's gone. And Diane says that she knows what he wants to talk about, said she overheard his conversation earlier. They discuss the weekend. Sam wants her to tend bar, but she thinks he wants her to go away with him. She says she feels overwhelmed. Sam tells her after the first couple of drinks, she'll relax, get into it, and actually enjoy it. Diane says she feels like she's on a runaway train and needs to think about it. The next day, Paula and Diane arrive at the bar with their luggage. They learn each is going away with a man for the weekend. Paula says she is puzzled by the man taking her because she thinks he's a big dumb jerk. Then he says something intelligent. Diane says she knows that her guy is a big dumb jerk. Diane explains that she is dating a psychiatrist and may be throwing everything away. Paula asks where Diane and her guy are going. Diane says, and then off the coast of Maine. Of course, that is where Paul's guy's taking her. Diane realizes her mistake. Sam comes in and asks Paula, "Are you ready for a trip down Ecstasy Lane?" He starts to leave with Paula, but stops, noticing Diane's suitcase. She says it's not hers, that it belongs to this gentleman here. She gives Al the suitcase. Sam leaves. Diane runs over to Al, who is looking at her unmentionables. She slaps him and takes the clothes. Al says, "Hell, that's the most fun I've had since 1958." And that's our episode. So I gave this episode 4 out of 5 beer nuts. I laughed so hard at the conversation Sam and Diane had near the end. They're actually both my quotes are from that. Also, it was great to see Al as always. Al's so good. Such a talented man. Our MVP, conveniently, our MVP and best dressed are both here. Our MVP was Shelley Long for this episode. Best dressed, we have Sam Malone. I love the shirt that he's got on. This nice plaid thing going on. So our Grand Slam line is when Sam's leaving, or maybe Diane left. Okay, I forgot who left, but one of them is talking to the other one. The other one's outside, and Sam says, "Don't worry. If you break anything, I'm fully insured." And of course, as I said, they are talking about two different things. So Diane's thinking literally him. If you break during the act of, that you're going to break it. That's what she said. Great line. Our on base line between Sam and Diane. Sam, starting with Sam and same conversation. I know the first time we tried this, it didn't turn out too hot. I'm going to take full responsibility for that. Well, I'm sure I was at fault too. Whatever. I think the important thing is that it will be better now that you know where everything is. Yes, I suppose that's true. Here's a little known fact. This episode originally aired on Kelsey Grammer's 30th birthday. So if you like this episode, as always, like, subscribe. Oh, I gotta take things off. Like, subscribe, follow, comment, send me pictures. This is where I kill time because I need to find the off button for the virtual backgrounds. Okay. And of course, you can join the Facebook group. Cheers, that's one woman's opinion. Getting the light off here so it's not so bright. There you go, it's easier to see. And you can follow us on Instagram at Cheers One Woman's Opinion Podcast, Twitter X at One Woman, sorry, at One Woman Opinion. Again, no S because it didn't allow it for some reason. Reddit, Cheers Rewatch Podcast. And of course, you can email at Cheers One Woman's Opinion Podcast at gmail.com. And for those of you only audio, I'll have to put this on again and I'll tell you why just now. So, first, next week. Next week, season 3, episode 20, If Ever I Would Leave You. And tomorrow, I'll be posting the rewatch of the Kirstie pilot that Michael Richards, Rio Pullman, and Kirstie Alley were in. That I said I would do when we did the Michael Richards guest episode there. And August 13th, we will be having a special guest, Gray Burke. He played Walt Twitchell, the other mailman that sometimes is at Cheers. He will be doing the rewatch of his first episode on Cheers, which will be aired on August 13th. So I'm going to do that with him and interview him at the same time, kind of like I did with Derek McGrath with Homicidal Ham. So if you have any questions you'd like me to ask, Mr. Burke, please send them either in the comments, the questions, all that, that I just did. Again, you can send it on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, email, etc. Please make sure I have them by August 6th. And that's one woman's opinion.